Hi, here is the Japanese scale inspired water buffalo horn Flutarina. Redwood cap, black walnut topper, and a little malachite sphere in there. This redwood is a very soft wood in terms of its density and hardness, so it can scratch relatively easily. So please keep that in mind. This is from my personal collection. So it's one of those things where, wrap it up in a cloth or something like that if you're traveling with it, and you should be fine. But aside from that, the scale in this one is the In-sen scale. It's IN space SEN, one of the traditional Japanese scales. Another one is called the Yo scale, YO, and then there is the Hirajoshi scale. And those are three kind of main Japanese scales that are used with either traditional gagaku music and shamisen and koto playing and in that general range. One of my favorite particular genres of world music, actually. I watch a lot of anime, and a lot of the times the Japanese scores that are in the background are all these really, really cool kind of eerie and magical instruments, and sometimes they're using those scales to play, various pieces. So with this particular piece, it definitely invokes those feelings, and that's one of the best parts about being able to key the instruments into completely different tunings. So, if I put the holes in a different spot, I can make this sound like a Native American flute, but because of where I put the holes and where the notes are tuned, I can tune it to, pretty much any scales that are out there. So this one's really fun, super easy to play. Right hand, 1, 2, 3, in succession. Left hand, 4, 5, 6. So that's literally bottom to top. And it very much just looks very easy on your hands. You'll know that you start climbing 1, 2, 3, and then you keep climbing 4, 5, 6. The breath pressure is soft to moderate throughout the whole piece. You don't have to push extra air into it when you're climbing up. It pretty much oscillates very easily. It's a very deep and warm and soothing low B. The notes are very loud and vibrant and soothing and clean. And you'll hear a very interesting sort of energetic difference between this one and this one for sure. This one is really good if we're talking about chakra sound healing type stuff. The high E is really good for guttural, and solar plexus type area stuff. And then the B, it's all nice crown chakra oriented things. I'll give you a nice little sound sample real quick with no effects, so you can just hear it's like regular audible volume. And you want to rest your bottom lip here, and then your top lip on the little crest of this black cap. And make sure that no air is spilling out on the sides, like just direct your air straight through into that small slit right there. And then you just blow gently, like very, very casual, like as if you're blowing an eyelash off of your finger. So there's these cool half steps in there that add a lot of tension and moodiness to it. That's why the Japanese scale is really, really cool. It gives you this, very Zen-like feeling. And it's such a nice, low, warm sounding tone that it's just very enveloping. A very casual, instrument for sure. You can just toot on it really anywhere. And let's see, something else we were talking about before. You asked about things that you could study or play or whatnot. With my instruments in particular, the first thing that I recommend is to just sit with the instrument, play it, noodle around with it for as long as you need to, and understand, with both of them, climbing up and climbing down and getting used to doing that as a first sort of pointer, literally climb up and down the scales, and then try to, like, you got that one scale, and then try to do it with the same pass, but doing the high E in there as well. So I find that with most people that are starting off playing any sort of flute, ocarina, penny whistle, whatever, a good thing to do is repetition. And that allows you to memorize and master certain things, and then they become second nature, and it doesn't like take you extra, dexterity and thought to make things happen. With that, I do really suggest kind of seeing what sort of songs you have inside and trying to pull them out. It's not going to happen immediately. So it's something that you are, encouraged to give enough time and patience to, so that you can understand where the instruments are trying to take you and what they're trying to teach you. In terms of like more concrete and traditional ways of approaching the music with like sheet music and things like that, you can seek, you could seek those scales out online. The G scale, Geez, has Ethiopian roots, so it's an African-based scale, and you can find information online if you want to research it, and maybe try to play some traditional songs that way. I'm not exactly sure how the tablatures would translate onto my instruments, so the main thing I would suggest would be to probably just listen maybe to some, traditional gagaku music that has a lot of either, I would say, shakuhachi or hichiriki or shinobu flute in it. And that will give you ideas of what you can, either try to emulate or replicate with this. Of course, certain flutes, like maybe like a side flute or shakuhachi, have a lot of extended upper register techniques that this doesn't have. So, with both of the smaller flutes, you're limited to the one octave that they do play. But within that, there's a lot of space for variation and understanding the different subtleties that you need to, explore when playing the flutes. Those are the main things that I really can suggest if you want to seek out other music to inspire you while you're playing yours, so that you can kind of like take the tones that you've heard and then translate them into your instrument. I find that that's really, really helpful. That's how I became a world music musician. I just started listening to tons and tons of stuff, and then eventually I started to just try to emulate and play it, and then eventually I started making them, and so it's just this big whirlwind of inspiration. So with that, I would I'd say just be patient and enjoy the journey. It's a lifelong process of enjoying and studying music. So I'm excited for you that you're getting back into it. And that means a lot to me that I get to be a catalyst for you in that department. That really means a lot to my soul and my heart. So thank you so much. I will package your flutes up together, and I will ship them out most likely on Monday. And I will wipe them all down with some rubbing alcohol, sanitize them up real good, and wrap them in some bubble wrap and make sure that they're all safe. And I will give you the tracking number once I do so. And thank you so much once again. I hope this is helpful. And just take care and enjoy those flutes.